Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here today with my Portulacaria Afra, also commonly referred to as jade plant. A tree I have shown a couple of times already on videos. The last time I showed it I did a little repot with it, so I repotted it into the same pot you can see right here. It was in there before, but I completely switched up the soil. Before it was in an inorganic soil mixture, now it's in a purely inorganic soil mixture, and since then I have spotted a lot of new and healthy growth. You can for example see here this long shoot developing right now, lots of new growth, so it really has taken well to this new soil mixture. Definitely was overdue when it comes to the repot. Before the health has struggled a little bit, I must admit. I always saw some deterioration in the health of the tree, some leaves dropping once in a while, especially winter was always very hard on this tree, but it never fully recovered also in the warmer months then. But with this repot, I think this tree has another lease on life, and that also means we can really start to work on this again, because I haven't been able to for quite a while because it has been in such a bad health state. But now as it rebounds, we have to fix some of the mistakes or the problems that appeared due to this bad health. And many of these problems can be attributed to just whole branches, for example, dying back, drying out. Of course, they then still adhere to the tree, so we need to clean those up. And also simply the structure of the tree not really going in the direction that we intended once, so we have to readjust that as well. So that's what we're going to do today. So simply improving the outlook of this tree. Now that we have a lot of new growth happening, we still need to get on top of that to really make sure that this tree can be the healthiest it can be. And what I do see here is 1 or 2 mealybugs, so we'll need to treat this afterwards, I can see that. So we'll simply spray it with a mixture of water and dishwashing liquid, and that normally kills all the pests that are on the tree. So definitely that is something I have to do. This is still probably a little left over from winter, when especially those subtropical trees sometimes get affected by pests inside when you keep them indoors. But that, of course, is also good to look at your trees once in a while. You will spot something like that and can treat it before it affects the health of your tree. But as we said, we're going to start now. And one thing I see, for example, we have some of this downwards growing branches here that we can remove, because of course it doesn't really make the tree look nice when we have a lot of downwards growth. So we take that out. Here we have a little pad that I'm in general quite happy with, because it is creating really a nice separate pad from the rest of the tree. We have also new growth coming here on branches I thought have died back before, but then we have others like this one here that have clearly died back. But when we cut them here, there's maybe the chance that they will again start to produce leaves from this part. A lot of like smaller dieback in here that we simply can clean out. Is there any leggy growth? I mean, here there was, but now there's a new leaf coming, so I think we can leave this on. But here this is in general quite leggy, so here I would actually remove, well, probably the whole branch up to this part here. It is green underneath here, so new leaves should form here. Portulacaria Afra is succulent, so they do form leaves from cut back branches quite easily. So that is something we can expect from here. Let's work our way upwards on this tree. A lot of new growth here. It is a bit laggy, but I do like the form of the branch here, so we'll leave it the way it is. And here it also, of course, this is way too laggy, I see. So I would actually take out this whole growth here. This will grow back more compact again. Here something has ripped off. And this way, of course, simply will look nice again. Here we still have some dead leaves. We can take these out. Here, I mean, this is getting a bit long, in my opinion. If we look at it, in comparison to the rest of the tree, it stands out a little bit. However, this could form a nice new pad in the future. So I just want to stunt the growth here maybe a little bit. So it's started to branch out. I take off the tips. Here in the back, this is unfortunately a branch that has died back, so we take this out and maybe new growth will form here. I had the same often down here before it really started to callus over. I took out a branch here, and for at least a year new growth started to come from here again and again. Every time I took it out again, it came back. So definitely this tree bounces back quite nicely and reacts quite well to pruning. Here we have new growth that is crisscrossing a little bit here, so we take this out. And up here there is some dieback that comes off quite easily by itself. Here we have a bit downwards growth again, and it's coming, hope I can show you this, it's coming from another branch, so they come off from the same spot here, so that's something we want to avoid anyway as well. So we also take this out. And we might shorten some of the branches up here because they have become, as I said, quite laggy. Let's look at it from this side. For example, this one here is a bit laggy. But I do like the way it's growing, so I'm fine with that. And I mean, the top is also looking sort of weird, to be honest. And this one here is definitely too. I will shorten one of those three here. So this will come in a little bit closer to the main trunk line again. And this should help us. This is growing inwards, which is also not really good, so probably take this out completely. If I can reach in here. Makes it of course a little bit bare for the moment, but this will regrow and hopefully we can direct it a little bit, the growth in this direction. And also this one here, then upwards to fill in this area. Here again we have a long branch that hasn't ramified yet, so we're just taking it out, hoping for ramification here. This one seems to have died back also, at least there's no leaves right now, so we take it not fully back but to this bend here. And the top of the tree is still a little bit of a question up here. This doesn't really look nice because it's so much higher than the rest of the tree, it just grows upwards suddenly. We could wire this out a little bit actually. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm getting a piece of wire. This will not... We don't need a really long piece here. But just enough to hook it somewhere. Maybe with the one branch we took off right now here. And then we make our way around here. Trying to avoid, of course, taking out too many leaves here. That is always, especially when wiring Portulacaria Afra, it is quite brittle. So be careful when you wire it. Because it's not really wood, it is, as I said, a succulent, so it can snap very, very fast. You can wire them, you just have to be more careful than, for example, with ficus. So now, as we said, we just bend this out a little bit. And actually making this the new leader. So we fill in this part of the tree sooner or later again, so it will be simply more dense again, a lot more foliage. And then this tree will look a lot healthier again than it is right now. There is signs of a lot of new growth. And as I said, once we deal with the mealybugs that have a bit developed on this tree over winter, then we can definitely expect a lot of new and healthy growth on this tree. Is there something else we have to do? Of course, we have those little stubs here. For that, I will get my concave cutter, because that allows us to have really a flush cut here, and we take out this part. And if we have a flush cut like this, that normally also means here no new growth will develop. And we even have one here on the inner band that we also try to take as flush as possible. This one has died back already to this part here. It's no longer green underneath, so this should callus over quite nicely. Is there some other parts we've taken out previously? Yes, here, the one I mentioned before, has developed a little bit of a hump here that we can take out, making it more flush again. And of course we have this little piece here missing. This is actually already, since I got this tree, it seems to have fallen or got damaged somehow on the way to the store or in the store itself. And that has led to this hollow part here forming, which you just see as a nice little feature on this tree. And it gives it character. Up here there's still a branch we have taken out before that we also clean up a little bit, because it's too close to the trunk line anyway. I don't really want new growth here. Here is still some dieback. Have we taken out this branch here yet? No. And this is the one that grows a little bit downward, so here we can also go in a little bit closer still. Yes, but looking at it, I think I'm quite happy with the way it is right now. I think the setup is quite okay. Of course, now we will need to see how the new growth is developing, where it is developing on the tree, how it will be doing. But for a first start, this is definitely improving it and giving it a better chance now at growth. But definitely now that we have healthy growth again, this is definitely improving the outlook of this tree and what we can expect from it throughout this growth season. I will keep you updated on this tree, how it is doing throughout growth season, when we need to prune it again, when we need to work on the structure and the overall style of the tree a little bit again. If you have any questions or ideas for this tree, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, and if you enjoy my channel, of course, feel free to subscribe to it. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.